Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself in that familiar digital haze, just endlessly scrolling? It feels like you're just bombarded by this avalanche of
Oh,
information.
absolutely. It's constant.
Yeah, it's like we're always chasing the next quick hit, that dopamine rush, or maybe just the immediate answer to whatever random question pops into our heads.
Mm.
For me, sometimes it feels like I'm just wading through this huge digital ocean. Or maybe more like standing on this endless beach, just seeing sand and trees stretching out forever.
That's a really good way to put it. There's just so much stuff out there.
So much noise, yeah. And
Oh.
everything is clamoring for our attention. It can feel totally overwhelming.
It really can.
We're sort of trained, aren't we, to consume at this breakneck speed.
We are. It's an accurate picture.
Mm-hmm.
In this hyper-connected digital world, we've become, well, deeply conditioned to expect instant gratification. We want everything delivered on a silver platter, perfectly organized, immediately digestible. So when something truly unique pops up, something that deliberately chooses not to play that game,
Yeah.
it's incredibly easy for us to just scroll right past it.
Or just dismiss it.
Right, dismiss without a second thought.
Mm-hmm.
Our ingrained habits, they often stop us from seeing its real potential.
That's such a powerful idea that we might scroll right past something profound just because it doesn't, scream for our attention. But what if hidden in all that digital noise, there was something genuinely rare, something profound, something that actually challenges our modern assumptions about how we learn, how we consume content, even what we value online?
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Well, our mission today on this deep dive is to explore exactly that kind of phenomena. We've got a fascinating set of sources that describe this unique online channel and its core philosophy. This channel, it's called Max of All Trades, and it actively pushes back against so many of those common digital trends we see every day.
Pushes back how?
It invites us into a different kind of engagement. So we're going to try and uncover why some content actually needs patience, needs effort, to truly appreciate it.
And why that might be exactly what we need more of.
Precisely, in our fast-paced world.
Mm.
So yeah, this is going to be an exciting exploration, I think, into a completely different way to engage with knowledge, maybe connect with ideas. It could really shift your perspective.
Absolutely. It sounds like an invitation to shift our perspective, maybe from that passive, sometimes mindless consumption
Yeah.
to active, intentional engagement.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the deeper value that pops up when we're actually willing to invest our time and curiosity instead of just demanding those immediate returns.
Right.
This channel isn't just like delivering information. It sounds like it's cultivating a whole mindset.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our sources give us some really evocative metaphors, and they just perfectly capture the channel's essence, its unique spot in the digital world. The first one really hit me. Finding this channel is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Wow. Okay. That's vivid for the internet.
Isn't it? You're searching through this massive, seemingly undifferentiated pile of stuff, the whole digital world, and you stumble on something tiny, specific. And most people would just glance at it and think, what's the point? A single needle. Useless.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly scream viral content, does it?
Not at all.
For most people, who aren't actively looking for that exact thing, a needle might seem totally insignificant, easily overlooked,
Or even disappointing.
or even profoundly disappointing. Yeah, they're looking for the digital equivalent of like a giant shiny object, something immediately impactful, broadly appealing.
A viral video, a trending topic.
Exactly, a meme. But for those few who are looking for that specific needle, for whom it holds a purpose, fills a need,
Then it's gold.
then it's incredibly rare, exactly what they need, and therefore profoundly desirable. That difference really highlights the channel's unique value proposition. Its worth is subjective, defined by the seeker's intent, not by mass appeal.
And the metaphor goes even further, right? Our sources also describe this channel as being like discovering a remote island that hasn't been mapped yet.
Okay?
Picture it. You hypothetically land on this island, maybe after a long digital journey, and first glance, all you see is sand and trees.
Nothing obviously valuable.
Wait, nothing screams luxury resort or obvious treasure chest. Most people, conditioned by those curated travel brochures and glossy Instagram feeds showing perfect, pre-packaged experiences,
They just leave.
probably, they wouldn't realize that beneath that unassuming surface, there are diamond nodes beneath the surface. It really challenges our bias towards the flashy, the instantly gratifying.
Precisely. This imagery portrays not just the channel's rarity and value, but also its fundamentally underrated nature in our current digital climate. We're so used to being shown the obvious attractions, the immediate, undeniable proof of value.
Every landing page, every algorithm.
All right, think of every landing page optimized for conversion, every algorithm pushing content it knows you'll click on. The whole idea that you might need to dig for something valuable, that its worth isn't immediately obvious or guaranteed.
It goes against everything.
It runs completely counter to our modern programming. The effort involved in digging on some remote island is such a stark contrast to just, booking a flight to an obvious resort. It asks for a different kind of engagement, more patient.
It really does. So this is asking us to think, asking you, the listener, have you ever dismissed something that seemed simple or unremarkable on the surface without really exploring its deeper potential? Maybe it was a book with a plain cover, or a person who didn't wow you in the first 5 minutes, or even online content without a flashy thumbnail or clickbait title.
That happens all the time.
That what can I do with a needle?
Okay.
Mindset is just so pervasive. But for those who understand its worth, who are actually looking for it, that tiny needle is incredibly powerful, a tool, for mending, crafting, even guiding.
It's about recognizing value beyond the superficial.
Exactly.
And this brings us to a broader, maybe even troubling cultural truth about how we interact with information today. The modern world has, in countless subtle ways, trained us to expect proof of value up front, to demand an algorithmic guarantee that our time will be rewarded.
We just scroll through feeds, making split-second judgments based on headlines, thumbnails, preview clips.
Right. If something doesn't immediately show us its worth, if it's not obviously a resort with neon signs,
We skip it.
we skip it. If a needle doesn't immediately sew something for us in a way we can see and measure,
Toss it aside.
we toss it aside. We're wired for maximum efficiency, for instant gratification, and that often means missing out on incredible hidden depths, on the slow burn of real discovery.
That conditioning, it really limits our potential for deep learning, for genuine connection. But here's where it gets really interesting, because this channel, as our sources explain it, doesn't work that way. It isn't structured like an amusement park with a map where every ride is clearly marked, optimized for a predictable thrill.
No easy directions.
No. Instead, it's described as a hidden island that you're invited to explore on your own terms. That's a huge departure from the curated, user-friendly, sometimes manipulative experiences we're used to online.
It puts the responsibility and the reward squarely on the explorer.
Yeah.
And that implies an inherent risk, doesn't it? You might genuinely dig and find only more sand.
Sure.
There's no guarantee of an immediate reward, no pop-up saying achievement unlocked after 2 minutes. But the crucial point the sources make is that this digging, this act of patient exploration, it isn't wasted effort.
How so?
In fact, it's profoundly transformative. Just like in life, the very act of searching, of engaging in that unguided exploration, it shapes you.
Okay.
It builds strength, patience, the perspective that only comes from looking for something without knowing when or if you'll find it. It's a powerful reframe of what we usually think of as productive time.
So the process itself has value.
Immense, often intangible value, far beyond finding a specific diamond. It cultivates intellectual resilience.
So what does this all mean for us? For you, listening, thinking about your own digital habits. It means the diamonds are there, the needle exists, but their value isn't obvious, not immediately recognizable to everyone.
Right. They're only valuable to the person who chooses to search, not the one who demands they be served up on a platter.
That philosophy, it immediately sets up an active role for you, the listener. You're not just a consumer waiting passively.
No, you're an explorer, an active participant in discovering value. This isn't about being spoon-fed. It's an invitation to a genuine, maybe challenging, but ultimately rewarding journey of discovery. Okay, so moving from that philosophy of hidden value and the worth of the search itself, let's dive into how this channel seems to fundamentally redefine learning. Our sources highlight a mission that goes way beyond tutorials in 10 minutes, which, let's face it, are everywhere online.
Everywhere.
The channel's core mission is described as trying to bridge the gap between my internal world and the external world. Interesting phrasing.
Isn't it? It's not about taking an authoritative approach to learning, where the creator is the ultimate expert handing down fixed knowledge.
Like a lecture.
Exactly. Instead, it's framed as exposing the listener to something, inviting you into the process of discovery.
I find that really refreshing. It's not some guru on a mountaintop declaring truths, but more
Like what?
hey, come see what I'm exploring, what I'm figuring out, how I think about this stuff.
Yeah.
And our sources say the content is this rich mix of reflection and journaling, along with critical thinking, research, and incorporating artificial intelligence to assist with adding nuance.
So it's multifaceted.
It doesn't seem to be about pushing a specific agenda or some neat, tidy conclusion. It's about the act of exploration, the deep dive itself, embracing that journey of intellectual growth as the main goal.
You get to see the messy process.
You do, the iterative process of understanding. And this contrasts directly with what so much of the internet, especially places like YouTube, has become known for. You mentioned tutorials and learning X in 10 minutes.
Right.
And while, sure, there's some immediate practical value in quick guides for basic things, tying a knot, using software features.
Yeah, simple tasks.
But the sources wisely point out the potential danger. It's just too easy, too tempting to watch these short guides and then present confidence like an expert.
Without really getting it.
Exactly.
Right.
Without truly understanding the underlying principles, the context, the deeper implications. This channel explicitly says its videos aren't intended to be the conclusion of your research, but instead a stop of your lifelong journey.
Wow, that's a statement.
It emphasizes that real learning is an ongoing process, not a destination you reach in 10 minutes. It pushes back hard against that illusion of instant expertise.
This brings up a really important question for you listening right now. When you consume learning content online, do you ever stop and think about the source? And maybe more importantly, the intention behind it. Is it genuinely trying to foster deep understanding, spark curiosity, get you to explore more on your own?
Well,
Or is it mostly designed for engagement metrics, likes, comments, watch time, ad revenue? Because that hidden motive can subtly shape the content you get, prioritizing brevity or sensationalism over actual nuance and depth.
the whole incentive structure of the internet often rewards the superficial,
Sadly, yes.
which leads us to this really useful framework our sources provided for thinking about different dimensions of learning. They break it down into 6 core categories, each with a key contrast.
Yeah.
This isn't just academic theory. It helps us understand the kind of information we're taking in and what it's doing to us.
Okay, lay it on us. What's the first one?
The first is formal versus informal learning.
Okay, formal, that's pretty clear. Schools, universities structured, curriculum-based, you get a certificate at the end. Textbooks, assessments, a whole deal.
Right.
But informal, what's that cover?
Informal is the unstructured, self-directed stuff that happens more organically.
Right.
Think about those late-night Wikipedia dives, or getting obsessed with a hobby, the skills you pick up just by being curious online, watching documentaries, exploring niche forums. This channel isn't a university. It's designed for that messy, exciting, often underestimated world of informal learning.
And we often undervalue that, don't we?
Totally, because it doesn't come with a diploma. Yet that's often where real passion, intrinsic motivation, and self-driven growth live. This channel intentionally taps into that informal space, validating it as a powerful way to develop intellectually.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's where learning happens. What about the depth? Because our sources really dig into this with the next pair, deep learning versus surface learning.
Absolutely crucial distinction. Think of surface learning like cramming flashcards for a test. You might ace it short term.
But does it stick?
Exactly.
Okay.
Does it actually integrate into how you understand the world? Surface learning is about quick tips, memorizing facts for recall, getting just enough info to pass or sound smart. Deep learning, though, that's about truly engaging with the why and the how. It's about building a mental model, connecting new ideas to what you already know, thinking critically about implications, understanding the nuances.
And the channel aims for?
Squarely for deep engagement, encouraging you to wrestle with ideas, not just passively absorb them. It's designed to make you think, not just know.
And what's driving that learning? That leads to the next pair. Intent-driven versus profit-driven learning. This feels super relevant today.
It really is. Intent-driven learning prioritizes genuine exploration, curiosity, understanding. The creator's main motivation is sharing knowledge, exploring an idea for its own sake, often not designed for mass appeal or going viral.
Whereas profit-driven,
Profit-driven learning is optimized for those engagement metrics, ad revenue. It often simplifies, dramatizes, maybe even sensationalizes content just to grab and hold attention. It needs to keep you watching, generate clicks, sometimes at the cost of nuance or even accuracy.
and this channel is clearly
A prime example of intent-driven learning. It exists outside that typical profit maximization loop, which frees it up to pursue depth over clicks.
Okay, next pair. Transactional versus relational learning. How does that play out?
Transactional learning is like an instruction manual. Here are the facts, use them. A one-way street. Efficient, maybe, but often impersonal.
Just information transfer.
Right. Relational learning, though, sees learning as more of a conversation. The presenter is like a fellow traveler, a guide exploring alongside you, not some authority handing down rules from on high.
Building a connection.
Exactly, through shared inquiry. This fits the channel's exposure model perfectly. It invites you into a dialogue, a process of code discovery, rather than just delivering a finished product. It fosters a sense of intellectual companionship.
The fifth category feels absolutely core to this channel's whole vibe. Exploratory versus conclusive learning.
Absolutely. Exploratory content is open-ended. It probably sparks more questions than it answers. It fuels curiosity, prompts you to go do your own research. It thrives on ambiguity, the beauty of unanswered questions.
While conclusive is.
Conclusive content presents information as settled fact. The final word. It often discourages follow-up or checking things yourself. It aims to give you a neat, tidy package. This channel is firmly in the exploratory camp, valuing the journey of inquiry over the definitive answer.
It respects your intelligence.
It respects your intelligence enough not to hand you all the answers, but maybe equip you to find them.
Okay, last one. Passive versus active learning. This feels like the big challenge for all of us.
It truly is. Passive learning is just consuming without interaction, watching a lecture, scrolling a feed, absorbing, without really engaging your brain.
Just letting it wash over you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Active learning involves direct engagement, taking notes, discussing it, creating something based on it, teaching it to someone else, or even just pausing to reflect and form your own questions.
So where does the channel fit? It looks passive, right? You watch a video.
It might appear passive at first glance, yeah, but its underlying philosophy actively encourages you to step into that active role. It challenges you to pause, think, explore further. It's designed to be a catalyst for your intellectual activity, not a substitute for it.
Okay, so putting it all together, our sources confirm this channel, Max of all trades, leans heavily towards informal, deep, intent-driven, relational, and exploratory learning.
And critically,
Passive leaning, but with huge active potential. It sets the stage for you to continue the journey long after the content ends.
it's like it's inviting you to cultivate your own intellectual garden, not just admire someone else's pre-cut flowers.
I like that.
And this is such a crucial difference, a powerful counter-narrative to so much online content. As our sources beautifully put it, you're not handing people the final meal. You're giving them the ingredients and showing how you discover them so they can cook their own version.
That approach is so valuable because it resists that trap.
I watched a 10-minute video, so now I'm an expert trap.
A trap that leads to such superficial understanding, misplaced confidence.
Exactly. This fosters genuine understanding, a more humble, ongoing journey of learning instead of some illusion of mastery. It's about building intellectual self-sufficiency.
Okay, so we've got this channel with a unique philosophy, a refreshing but maybe challenging approach to learning. But here's the big problem, the conundrum, as our sources call it. It has to operate in a world where everything is just relentlessly competing for your attention.
The attention economy.
Exactly. This constant pressure, this always-on demand for our engagement, it inevitably leads to this pervasive feeling of burnout.
We all feel it.
We do. And even when you're completely burnt out, feeling depleted, intellectually tired, the digital world doesn't let up. It keeps bombarding you with likes, comments, subscribe, advertisements, each one a tiny little pull on your finite mental energy.
It's exhausting.
Yeah,
An invisible cycle that just feeds on our awareness.
it is.
And this is where the channel's ambition really stands out as, well, pretty radical. Its goal isn't to compete for attention in that traditional way. It's explicitly not about chasing likes, comments, subscriptions.
So what is it competing for?
Instead, its mission is to compete for attention, to provide a space for exploration away from these. It's trying to carve out a sanctuary in the digital noise,
A refuge.
the place where you, the listener, can engage with ideas without that constant, distracting buzz of performance metrics, without the pressure to react immediately.
That sounds incredibly hard to do.
That's especially for a hobbyist creator. Our sources reveal they're operating with incredibly limited resources, a budget in the red, no team, just relying on their own mind and AI as an augmentation tool.
Wow.
Yet, despite those huge limitations, there's this clear striving for a healthy mix of education and entertainment, a balance that even big, well-funded operations rarely achieve.
It's fascinating how the channel is, as the sources say, essentially pushing against two overlapping currents. these incredibly powerful forces shaping our online lives.
What are they?
First, that pervasive attention economy built to optimize for retention, clicks, those little dopamine hits that keep us scrolling forever.
Everything gets bent towards addiction.
Even educational stuff, yeah. It gets bent toward easy, addictive consumption just to maximize watch time. And second, there's that deeply ingrained passive learning culture.
Where we just absorb.
Yeah, so many people are conditioned to just absorb what's put in front of them, be entertained or informed without actively engaging, questioning, exploring beyond it. This channel basically confronts both head on.
And the channel's reframe of attention itself is quite profound, isn't it? Moving from something to be owned, a commodity,
To what?
to an invitation. It's not trying to compete for likes, comments, and subscriptions, only for attention as an invitation to explore.
Okay, that's a key difference.
It transforms attention from something to own into something to share, to participate in. In the current system, attention's often a zero-sum game, right?
Yeah.
If you're watching one thing, you're not watching another. Creators are pitted against each other for your limited mental bandwidth. But this channel treats attention as a doorway to participation, not the product itself. It's an open invitation to a shared intellectual journey, not some capture mechanism trying to lock you into its ecosystem.
It respects your agency.
It acknowledges your agency. Exactly.
This radical reframing really shapes the kind of space the channel is trying to create. It feels fundamentally different. It's explicitly not saying, here's the answer, here's the conclusion.
What was the answer?
Instead, it offers, here's a window into my process, now you go find your own view. It doesn't say sit back and consume. It says, pull up a chair, take a sip, and join the conversation. And instead of demanding, follow me, it gently invites, walk alongside me for a bit.
It cultivates a sense of intellectual camaraderie.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this approach, while it feels inherently more sustainable, maybe more inclusive long-term because it's not built on shaky, viral trends,
There's a downside.
it also means it will likely be slower to grow. Why? Because it directly rejects the algorithm's sticky methods, the very things designed to hook you and keep you watching.
Like what?
Provocation, oversimplification, constant, immediate rewards. This is building for longevity, for depth, for genuine connection, not for fleeting virality.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
In a digital world obsessed with sprints.
Exactly. And like any approach that pushes against the norm, there are obstacles. Our sources point out two big obstacles this channel, and maybe any creator trying this, has to face.
Okay, where are they?
The first is AI distrust. Lots of people, understandably, often see AI as artificial substitution, AI replacing human creativity, originality, maybe even thought itself.
And given some current AI uses, that fear isn't unfounded.
True. However, this channel strategically seems to use AI not as a replacement for the creator's mind, but as artificial augmentation or a thought partner.
That distinction is critical and often missed. Instead of AI writing whole scripts or generating ideas from nothing,
It's a tool.
it's a tool, yeah. Here, AI might help refine arguments, summarize complex research faster, spot nuances the human creator missed, or even just help brainstorm alongside the human intellect. It enhances the human brain's capacity.
Allowing one person with few resources to achieve more depth.
Exactly. Depth and breadth that might otherwise be impossible. It's about leveraging tech to deepen human inquiry, not bypass it.
Okay, what's the second obstacle?
The second big one is active participation resistance. As a society, we are just increasingly conditioned for convenience, for frictionless experiences where effort is minimized.
We want things easy.
We do. Asking people to think, to research independently, to reflect deeply after watching something, that's a heavier lift than just tapping like and scrolling on.
It demands more from the audience.
It does, which, while profoundly good for deeper learning and intellectual growth, goes directly against that ingrained habit of passive, low-effort consumption the internet largely promotes.
It's asking for a mental workout in a world selling intellectual fast food.
Well put.
So the channel's ambitious goal, as our sources put it, is this delicate balancing act, trying to occupy the middle space between education, facts, concepts, research, depth, entertainment, personality, storytelling, relatability, and exploration, open questions, ambiguity, invitations to think.
That's a really rare combination. Most creators pick one lane and stick to it, right?
Yeah.
Educational stuff can be dry, entertainment superficial, pure exploration maybe too niche or unpolished.
Definitely.
But weaving all three, Education, entertainment, exploration, that's undeniably harder to pull off, requires a really nuanced touch.
But if they manage it.
Yet, when done successfully, as this channel aims for, it creates more resilient engagement when people do connect. It fosters a deeper, more lasting connection because it hits different parts of the human experience all at once.
The desire to learn, the need for enjoyment, that curiosity.
Exactly. The fundamental desire to learn and understand, the innate need for enjoyment and connection, and that profound human curiosity to discover and question. It's a holistic approach that tries to nourish the mind, soul, and spirit all together.
Let's dig into another really powerful analogy from our sources. This one truly captures the channel's unique structure, how all its pieces fit together. It's described as being like looking at a building where every brick is also a mural.
Okay, unpack that. Every brick is a mural.
Yeah. Imagine each individual piece of content, a video, a podcast, a reflection, is its own unique, self-contained work of art. It might be beautiful, challenging, maybe even seem a bit messy or abstract up close, like a single brushstroke.
Got it.
But the true genius of the analogy is that the full picture, the overarching vision, the deeper meaning, only really emerges when you take a few steps back and see how the bricks connect to create a structure.
So it emphasizes the interconnectedness, the importance of perspective.
Exactly. It's not just a random collection of topics, it's a holistic vision. It embodies the name Max of all trades, showing how everything connects into a larger, cohesive story.
Each exploration contributes to a bigger intellectual architecture.
Precisely. And it's a profound idea, especially thinking about how we consume content today. Our sources quote the channel's vision directly, saying, Max of all trades is not built for the quick scroll. It's a building made of many bricks. When you step back, you see how they connect. A place for curiosity, where education meets entertainment, and exploration is as important as conclusion.
That really challenges us, doesn't it? To consider if maybe we're too busy, too jaded.
To admire the architecture.
Yeah. Of life, or even the content we consume. Are we so focused on the individual brick, the viral clip, the soundbite, that we miss the magnificent building it's part of, that deeper, more enduring structure of knowledge and meaning?
It's a sobering thought.
This deep dive into structure leads us to another really compelling parallel our sources draw. It's used to illustrate the channel's engagement model even further.
Which is?
The game Old School RuneScape, or OSRS.
Okay, the classic MMORPG.
Right. Introduced as a massively multiplayer online role-playing game with immense depth. You can play solo. In this huge populated world, there are literally thousands of hours of gameplay. And it's kept this dedicated, passionate player base for decades, despite its age.
So what's the parallel, the graphics?
That's the starting point. For a modern audience, OSRS's outdated graphics can be off-putting, especially if you're used to hyper-realistic games.
Okay.
And that's much like how the AI element on the channel, or maybe its less flashy production, might feel unfamiliar or even a bit off-putting at first to someone used to slick, algorithm-friendly content.
Makes sense.
But crucially, OSRS doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't guide you step by step with constant tutorials or quest markers pointing exactly where to go.
You have to figure things out.
You do. It challenges players to explore, to look things up on wikis, ask other players, solve problems independently. And this, our sources argue, creates resistance, which is a good thing because it builds growth.
Yeah.
It forces you to engage, learn, persevere.
Okay, resistance builds growth. That's key.
It's a critical point, especially thinking about digital burnout. In a world where people feel overwhelmed, there's this natural pull towards just being fed entertainment as a kind of self-care.
Just zoning out.
Right. But our sources question this. Being a consumer who isn't challenged, who's just getting emotionally provoked or told simplistic things without nuance, that isn't really productive long-term.
It's like intellectual junk food.
Exactly. Immediate satisfaction, but leaves you feeling less nourished, not more. The message is clear. What is productive isn't always easy.
But it's not all hard work, right?
No, and that's important too. The channel isn't about constant, relentless challenge. Like OSRS, which has a healthy mix of AFK away from keyboard content where you can passively gain experience while doing other things, and intensely challenging content.
So the channel offers variety.
Yeah, it's multimedia. It offers music, podcasts, stories, reflections. It allows for moments of passive enjoyment and active, focused engagement, depending on your energy and interest. It gets that balance is key for sustainable intellectual growth.
Okay, let's dive deeper into these specific OSRS parallels. They really seem to illuminate the channel's whole approach, even if you've never played the game. First up, player autonomy and agency.
Right. In OSRS, players set their own goals. Nobody forces you to max out a skill or kill a certain boss. You decide. Master fisherman, powerful warrior, shrewd merchant. It's up to you.
And that mirrors how the channel isn't a linear curriculum.
Exactly. It's a sandbox. You, the viewer, choose your own quests based on what genuinely sparks your interest.
Which challenges that modern media habit of expecting a clear path, instant rewards, predefined wins.
Right. Watch this, learn this, get the dopamine hit. But there's profound growth, as our sources say, in learning how to set your own milestones instead of chasing the ones handed to you.
Cultivates intrinsic motivation.
And intellectual independence. Your curiosity becomes the compass.
Okay, next. Skill system as a learning model. In OSRS, skills support each other, right? Fishing helps cooking, mining helps smithing.
It's an interconnected web. Think of a polymath understanding how art informs science, or philosophy underpins tech. Each domain deepens the others.
And the channel works like that, how?
Someone engaging with its philosophy podcasts might get a deeper appreciation for the narratives in its music. Understanding the subpersonalities in one reflection might enrich their take on the storytelling elsewhere.
So deeper engagement across different content types reveals more layers.
Exactly. It accommodates casual viewers and committed learners, but deeper engagement across the different skills or content types really enriches the whole experience, reveals connections and meaning.
Next up, the value of friction. OSRS has intentional friction. Walking instead of instant travel, grinding for materials, failing boss fights, and trying again. On this channel, friction comes as reflection prompts that make you think, less flashy production, the open-ended exploration that doesn't just hand you a neat conclusion.
And this friction isn't bad.
No, our sources argue it isn't inefficiency. It's the very space where patience, memory, and connection grow. We often think fast equals good in learning.
But fast learning often fades fast.
Exactly. True. Lasting understanding, the kind that really integrates into your worldview, takes effort. It needs a willingness to embrace challenge. It's like mental weightlifting. The resistance builds strength.
Okay, what about the long-term community layer?
In OSRS, the world is shaped by players, their markets, their chat, the community culture. This channel, similarly, isn't just content you consume alone. It's framed as an invitation into a culture of exploration, curiosity, and discussion.
So it's less a transaction
Watch video, leave.
and more an ecosystem, where engagement is an ongoing part of the learning, building a shared experience around discovery, a place people return to not just for new stuff, but for that feeling of thoughtful connection.
That leads to the true try philosophy. This one's powerful.
How so?
Our sources compare it to OSRS players quitting before major milestones like Dragon Slayer Eye or the Fire Cape. They missed the most rewarding parts because they didn't push through early challenges.
Okay.
Similarly, on this channel, the true try isn't just watching one video. It's investing enough time to start seeing the connections between projects, noticing recurring themes.
Realizing this is all one story told in many forms.
Exactly. The full impact, the deep understanding, the sense of a coherent journey only comes with that longer-term investment, a willingness to explore the breadth and depth. It rewards patience with coherence.
And finally,
the anti-algorithm statement. RuneScape content rarely trends for spectacle moments. It's not optimized for viral highs or shock value.
it's optimized for player agency, long-term engagement, those thousands of hours.
Right, and this channel mirrors that. It doesn't aim for virality, but for quiet sustainability, for a loyal, engaged audience finding real value. It's a place a viewer might return to months later just because they remember the feeling of being there.
The feeling of engaging with something that respects their intelligence and curiosity, not just exploits their attention.
Precisely. It prioritizes lasting resonance over instant virality. So when we pull all these threads together, the hidden value, the redefined learning, fighting the attention economy, the unique structure, what really emerges is this powerful cultural commentary on where we are digitally right now.
Yeah, it paints quite a picture.
That ingrained time is money mindset, it's everywhere in our society, and it actively discourages the kind of patient, exploratory digging this channel champions.
Why invest time without a guaranteed immediate payoff?
Exactly. That mindset breeds this deep reluctance to truly engage, to spend effort without a clear, predictable return on investment.
And this feeds directly into that burnout cycle we keep talking about. People feel exhausted, overwhelmed by all the demands on their attention.
So they seek easy entertainment.
Right, mistaking it for genuine self-care,
Yeah.
scrolling aimlessly, consuming low-effort content, hoping to recharge.
But it doesn't always work like that.
No. As our sources suggest, this unchallenged consumption, it's often not restorative. It can leave us feeling even more drained, ironically. Less fulfilled.
It's a superficial fix, intellectual empty calories, not deep nourishment for the mind.
Hmm.
And this whole issue gets worse because of what our sources call algorithmic conditioning. The algorithms governing so much of our online lives are designed to reward predictable, bite-sized, often emotionally charged content, things that provoke a quick reaction.
They consistently favor sensationalism, oversimplification.
Over nuance, depth, the kind of thoughtful, complex exploration this channel promotes, they train our brains to expect one type of content: fast, easy, exciting.
And this channel offers something completely different, requires a mental recalibration.
It does.
But here's a really transformative idea, I think. The profound takeaway from this whole deep dive, the inherent value of the search itself.
Even if you don't find a diamond every time.
Exactly. Even if on your personal journey, you don't uncover some singular, earth-shattering insight every single time you engage, the very act of digging, that engagement, that exploration, is inherently worthwhile.
Like getting exercise, whether you find treasure or not.
Perfect analogy.
Mhm.
The process itself is beneficial. It builds mental capacity, cultivates intellectual resilience, sharpens critical thinking, fosters a deeper, more nuanced understanding of the whole landscape of knowledge. You're building intellectual muscle even when you're just turning over rocks.
Which brings us to a crucial question for you, the listener, to maybe carry with you as you navigate the digital world. Do you find yourself disliking exploration just because it's hard? Because it demands effort without that guaranteed instant reward?
Mhm.
And if you consistently choose not to explore, if you let the algorithms decide what you consume, feeding you only what they predict you'll like, is that truly relaxation? Or is it the quiet, insidious hum of burnout, just masquerading as convenience? It's a direct challenge to consider your own digital habits and what kind of engagement truly serves your well-being, your intellectual growth in the long run. Hashtag outro. And there you have it. Another, I think, really profound deep dive today. We've journeyed through the unique philosophy of this online channel that's defiantly pushing back against so many digital trends. We've explored its countercultural approach to learning, and we've used those powerful analogies, the hidden island, old school RuneScape, to really get a handle on its depth, its call to a different kind of engagement.
This channel, Max of All Trades, it really invites you into a unique digital space.
One that values patience, genuine curiosity.
And the inherent worth of the search itself, not just the fleeting thrill of finding something.
Yeah.
You know, in a world seemingly built to just hand you the map, show you the shortest, most efficient route, this channel sounds like it would rather give you the compass.
I love that. Give you the compass.
The diamonds, the needles, the milestones, they're out there waiting to be found. But the real treasure, the most lasting, valuable part, is mastering how to find them for yourself, cultivating your own intellectual independence.
So as you go back out into that vast, shimmering digital world, maybe consider this. You can keep scrolling past, always looking for that prepackaged resort, that instant, obvious gratification, or you can choose to step onto the island, take a deep breath, and maybe start digging, trusting in the process of exploration and the growth that comes with it.
Either way, the sand will still be there, endless, ubiquitous, demanding very little.
But only one path, the one you actively choose to take, truly leads to the diamonds, to that profound, self-directed understanding that actually lasts.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thank you. Now go forth and continue your own explorations.